everybody, and welcome back to Crime in Sports.
Hey!
Hey, indeed, Jimmy. Hey, indeed.
Why did I do that? This isn't fucking your stupid opinions.
I love it. My name is
Yay!
James Pietragallo. Yay, indeed, Jimmy. Yay,
There
indeed.
it is.
There we go. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host, who's very
I'm
confused.
Jimmie Whisman.
Yes, I am here with confused Jimmie Whisman.
A fucking moron.
That's all right. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to have more fun than we're even having now, which seems impossible, but it's going to happen.
It's already started, James.
It's already started. Can't wait. Before we do that, check out shutupandgivememurder.com. Get your tickets
What's there?
for live Small Town Murder shows. Small Town Murder will be in Nashville on February 21st. Get your tickets for that. Durham and Atlanta, March 6th and 7th. Get your tickets for that. Get your tickets for the Your Stupid Opinions live show in Phoenix at Stand Up Live on March 21st. Get in there now and do that. Shutupandgivememurder.com. Tons of merch on there, all sorts of good stuff. Yeah. By the way, if you are listening to this when it comes out, check us out on Netflix, where Small Town Murder will be on Netflix from now on. So that's pretty cool. We've gone from it's fun to share this with this audience because this audience was at the kitchen table with us when we first started recording this in a shitty apartment at the kitchen table.
Hell mics sounding like trash, and you guys stuck through that shit?
You stuck through it, and you hung out with us, and we can't thank you enough for that. And so we will be on Netflix with Small Town Murder, and maybe someday Crime and Sports. We'll see.
Who knows?
But who knows? There you go. So check that out and do that. Get yourself Patreon. Do yourself a favor. Patreon.com/crimeinsports, just like the name of this show. Anybody $5 a month or above, you get everything.
Yes.
Everything that we put out. First of all, as soon as you subscribe, hundreds of bonus episodes you've never heard before. And it's really good stuff. And then you get new ones every other week, one Crime and Sports, one Small Town Murder, and you just get them all. We don't care.
All of it. Yeah.
Whatever, just take them all. This week for Crime and Sports, I'm excited because we're going to do some ads and old-timey newspaper stuff. Yeah. So the sales, Jimmy, we love that. Then for Small Town Murder, oh boy, this is going to be fun. Dean Coral Part 2.
Oh?
You want to see this. We got 27 bodies extracted from the earth.
Yeah.
We have a dead murderer.
Yeah.
And another guy who killed him who also did some of this, and it's a mess. There's a John Wayne Gacy connection coming in here. We got so much to talk about. Patreon.com/crimeinsports, and you get Crime and Sports, Small Town Murder, Your Stupid Opinions, all ad-free.
All of it ad-free? Are you kidding me?
And on top of that, you get a shout out at the end of the show. It's literally all we could possibly give you. It's all we have to give.
I don't know how else to do anything.
We can't gift Netflix subscriptions, so this is all we can do.
Allowed.
So that said, let's get into this and dive right in here. We're going back to Australia this week.
Oh, shit.
I love doing the Australian episodes. Yeah. They're so fun. We're going to do an Australian... was like an AFL player, Australian football here. We're going to get into that. Jim Krakouer is his name.
Krakouer.
Let's see. Krakouer. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Like Bauer.
K-R-A-K. Why can't I say letters? You don't know what show you're doing, and I can't say letters. K-R-A-K.
Well, you don't want to say Krakow. That's your problem.
U-E-R. Krakouer, I guess. Yeah. Jesus Christ. Okay. James Gordon Krakouer. Yeah. Jim. We're going with Jim here.
All right.
He's born October 13th, 1958 in Mount Barker in Western Australia.
Elderly fella.
Elderly at this point, yeah. He started young with the crime, too. It's a lot of fun. We'll get into all this. His parents are Eric and Phoebe Krakouer.
Oh.
Don't hear a lot of Phoebes that were born in the 20s or 30s.
No.
Not a lot of Phoebes.
I imagine that's why people started naming them Phoebe again, right? Because it's a nostalgic name.
I doubt they made up Phoebe in the 60s.
You don't think so? You don't think
Who
that's
the fuck
a big
pulls
name?
Phoebe out of their ass? That's a weird one.
There was Phoebe Cates in the 80s, and
yeah. That's
the only Phoebe I can think of.
And from Friends, you know what I mean. With this she was born. It's just weird. She must have been born in the 20s or 30s to be named Phoebe. It's odd. So Eric and Phoebe. He has 10 siblings.
Dang.
10, including 2 brothers who also play in the AFL. So got that brothers Phil and Andrew. Later on, he'll have a couple of sons, Tyrone and Andrew, after his brother. A little bit about Andrew. Andrew was an Australian rules player who played for the Richmond Football Club and the Collingwood Football Club.
Wow.
So there's that. He's younger here, obviously, or his son is. I'm sorry, his son born in 1983. This is young Andrew, and he's the son of a player and the nephew of other players, so he's expected to be something, as we'll talk about. And he was drafted. This is his son now. Later on, drafted in the 41st selection in the AFL draft.
Terrific.
And he's got some problems that we'll talk about here, but we'll get back to his son in a little while.
All right.
Jim, a little bit about Jim here. Like I said, Mount Barker, Western Australia. It's south of Perth, 350 kilometers south of Perth over there. Okay. So that sounds like it's the middle of nowhere.
350 kilometers. That's like 2,000 miles, isn't it?
Either that or it's like 150 miles, one of the two.
I don't know the exchange rate.
Kilometer shorter than a mile. So
yeah.
Is
it?
Yeah, okay. I think a kilometer shorter than a mile. So he's the, I guess his dad, Eric Krakouer, born in 1930, was born near, nearby Kojonup?
Yeah, sure.
Kojonup? Kojonup? I don't know. His dad is a Noongar man.
What is that?
It's like an ethnicity, I guess.
Okay.
They're native, Aboriginal people.
Yeah.
I think dad is at least here. Phoebe Audrey Miller, his mother, doesn't sound very Aboriginal.
Aboriginal. That might be where it came from, James. You don't know.
That's totally where it is. Yeah, I think that sounds more like an English lady. Phoebe Audrey Miller. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they were married in 1949, his parents. The name derives from Theodore Krakouer, who was a Polish-Jewish convict of English-Polish descent who escaped transportation and settled in southwestern Australia. Wow. So he comes from escaped convict stock. That's where it comes from. And then he married a Noongar, I hope I'm saying that right, a Noongar woman, and they became, mixed with the indigenous and European heritage, and there we go. So he ended up, Dad, Eric, relocated to Mount Barker in about 1947, where he and his wife will have 11 children in a small home. Wow. That sounds awful. From this article says that the small home was situated in a shanty Aboriginal community on the outskirts of town. Okay. So this was not an easy upbringing for this kid at all. A lot of problems, a lot of issues of like health and things like that. There's not good medical care out here. 2 of the children in the family end up dying before they're adults.
Oh, boy. So they had 12 or they have 8?
No, they had 11, and they ended up with 9 that lived.
Wow.
So, Jim himself was hospitalized with rheumatic fever.
He had the roomie?
He had the rooms, as we like to call it. The room zooms. That's
what the fuck?
I don't even know what that is, but it doesn't sound good.
Sounds Oregon Trail-y, yeah.
Sounds, it's under a, you die, here lies.
Yeah, it sounds like it's a fever with spots.
Here lies Jim. He got some bad shit. You don't need to know what it is.
The rheumatoid fever.
No shit. Apparently, it's it was back then anyway. I don't know about now, but it was a disproportionately affected the indigenous population. Okay. Mainly due to overcrowding and lack of medical care.
Sure. Yeah.
Medical care will solve everything. It's crazy.
It's really amazing what that shit can do.
We built these big buildings with doctors in them and all sorts of medicine. I mean, they have really worked.
They'll sell you a syrup, if you will. And it's amazing.
What ails you?
You get through that bottle of syrup and you're like,
hey.
When did I feel so bad? This is great.
Terrific. Yeah. No, that's
amazing what medicine does.
It's crazy. Our life expectancy went from 40 to 80.
Isn't that amazing?
So what's everybody say? Medicine's the problem. Okay.
All right, sure.
All right. Yeah, cool. Die when you're 40. Have half your kids die in your home when they're fucking. Is that what we're trying to go back to?
I suppose.
Remember those days?
I want to live as long as Jesus, James.
Yeah. If Jesus didn't need to live 80 years, why do I? So that's what these people are doing.
As far as a lot of people are concerned, he's still alive now.
That's fine. So, just have 8 kids, have 4 of them live to adulthood, and that's great. Everybody will be fine. Fucking idiots. So,
And they'll sell you a weak shit, James. You don't even need a prescription. You can go get some goddamn Tussin or some NyQuil, and it'll make you feel 1,000,000 times better.
Some shit that if you took that and placed it in somebody's hands in the 1600s, they would think that it fell from the clouds of heaven. What is this magic?
What is this magic that just gave me 11 hours of sleep?
What kind of wizard are you that brought me this? That's what they would say.
It's your fucking green elixir.
It's fucking insane. So, oh man, he ended up living through that, obviously, or we wouldn't be doing an episode about a young Aboriginal boy who died at 7 from the rheumatic fever. That would be a very short episode. Now, he's a crazy shit. There's no other way to put it, and this guy's fucking nuts. He's just nuts. He's crazy from a young age. And you kind of have to be to play Australian rules football. Let's be realistic here.
That shit is wild.
You kind of have to have a little bit of an edge to you.
Yeah.
So right from the beginning, he was like that. Now, also, there is a lot of – let's think about when he's growing up, too.
Yeah.
In the early 60s, there's a lot of bad shit going at the Aboriginal people at this point. I don't know what Australia's like now, but I assume it's probably improved some since then, I would hope.
Probably.
Because, we did for a while. We did here, Yeah.
It seems like it's going better over there than most places. I don't know. I don't see much of the news.
They seem to be. Australia, unless there's something major or catastrophic, we don't hear a goddamn word about it. That's the problem.
We don't hear shit. Quiet.
They keep it real locked up over there.
Yeah.
Real tight. So he said there was a lot of discrimination and bullying against him. And he said that gave him a propensity for violence.
Okay.
But football was an outlet. He said, my dad was an excellent footballer in the country. My mom's brothers were excellent players as well. They didn't have the urge to come to Perth and try out there. All their footy was in the country.
Sure.
So they're like the equivalent of like sandlot ball players that are really good but not wanting to go anywhere. Now, among his siblings and all that kind of thing, his older brother Phil was into football a lot, so that got him into it. He'd also play cricket and basketball as well.
Yeah.
That's why not. So
was it basketball or was it that weird one with no backboard?
It says straight basketball.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I never heard of that sport till like last year.
The netball one?
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it's been around forever because I think
it's been a long time.
That used to be for girls back
just
in the day,
girls,
like
right?
Young girls. That's what it was. Yeah, so that's why we never heard about it. What are the 7th grade girls playing is never something that ESPN didn't think about. Hey, we should really show what the 7th grade Australian girls are doing. Everyone should be interested in that.
If DraftKings was around, we'd known all about it.
Oh, we'd have known everything, yeah. You could run a fucking parlay on that shit. Screaming and yelling about 11-year-old girls not scoring enough around the basket.
Yeah, fucking Bridget fucked my parlay.
She keeps firing up threes. She has no range.
She knows.
She knows she has no range. Oh, man. So the family environment, a lot of discipline, not a lot of money. That's how it worked here. That's it. Eric and Phoebe's relatives, the parents here, including uncles from both sides, were all really good country-level football players. Mm-hmm. So kind of athletics and things like that are very well stressed in this household.
Sure.
Now, Mount Barker, pretty rural, apparently, here. Not a place that's easily accessible to, you're not like right there is the city. It's nothing like that. You're not in a suburb. You're kind of out in the middle of nowhere here. So they kept playing. They played their sports out here in the country. His younger brother, Phil, will also be a professional player here as well. Right. So, I mean, that's kind of seems like he put his energy into that for a while when he wasn't putting it into getting in trouble. He says, back in those days, you had footy season and cricket season and basketball. I wasn't big for basketball, but I had a pretty good leap that helped me. We just played our seasonal sports and were pretty good at them.
Had a good
leap. Whatever this is what kids did too. Whatever the season was, that's what they played. Mm-hmm. Whereas now, like, the kids have to have a specialty when they're 6 or else they'll never amount to anything. Yeah, if you're going to be a quarterback, you better decide when you're 7 and then go to quarterback camps for the rest of your life or you're going to be way behind, which is pretty fucked up. So he was recruited by the Claremont Football Club in 1977, Jim is. Now, he moved to Perth and featured in the club's Colts team, which is the under-19s team. But he was good enough. Yeah, good enough to get a promotion to the senior, I guess, WAFL, Western Australian Football League side midway through the season. Made his debut July 16th, 1977 against East Perth, obviously. In 77, he played in 6 games. He kicked 14 goals, which sounds tremendous for 6 games, but that might be terrible. We don't know. And he had 9 behinds.
Sure.
Which I think is when you actually kick an opponent in the ass.
Right in the behind.
Right in the ass, and then they have to jump and grab it like a cartoon, and then that's a score. You get that. That's something they count as a stat, I think. But they said he's really good, and everybody liked him, even though he came off the bench and didn't play a whole lot. Then the next year, 78, he had 20 games played, 42 goals scored. 37 behinds. He was fucking smacking some assholes on that one, man. He's guys running around with sore asses, contributing to. His team was 12-8. So they like him, and then his brothers get into it and everything else, and so everybody's in it. Now, one of the coaches here, I believe, is Ron Joseph, and he said he first saw Krakouer play in 1978 when the brothers were in their first season together at Claremont. He said they weren't outstanding players, but they were good. The one guy said they didn't dominate the game. You could see that they had outstanding skills and that they were incredibly fast, but they weren't consistent. They had to learn to apply themselves for a full game.
Right. That's kind of like any sport, really, right?
I think, you see a guy running around. I mean, basketball, you can see when they got a rookie out there, you can see if he's got skills, but he's not. He's too kind of like a puppy that's too all over the place, and you're like,
that's adorable.
Calm down. Yeah. Rein it all in.
Yeah.
Look at him go out there.
It is cute to see him just deliver the effort. Nothing but effort.
It's true. Remember like Iverson's rookie year?
Yeah.
Like how he was like against like Jordan and shit. Like that's so you can go, okay, he's got skills. He slow the fuck down, but you got the skills. So he was doing, well and getting better. But the problem is that's later. That's 77.
Yeah.
He's already been in trouble. That's been rushed under the rug here. Yeah. In 1974, Jim and a cousin, now Jim was 16 at the time. I don't know how old the cousin was. They were both convicted of rape.
Holy. Convicted. Not arrested.
Convicted of rape. Yeah. When he was 16 years old, he was arrested.
Of who?
There was an incident involving, now this is all we can find out, non-consensual sexual intercourse, which that's rape.
That's a lot of syllables.
That's a lot of syllables for rape. And by the way, consensual, we can just shorten that and call it consensual because I think I think I just coined something there. That was actually a good fuck up. He's sentenced to 2 years in prison.
Oh.
Yeah. So this is before he ever plays.
Already? Till adulthood, spend some time.
Someone saw him running around and go, look at that little rapist. He's a good player.
Look at him
We should sign him.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Now, he has consistently denied the allegation of non-consent, maintaining that the sexual activity was consensual and describing the conviction as wrongful.
At 16, can you do that in Australia? That's wild.
That's crazy. So,
and how old was the person?
That's what I mean. We don't know how old the younger the victim here was.
Yeah.
So it was affirmed and everything though. So he appealed it and it didn't matter. And he's convicted of it. So that's factual at this point that happened. We don't. That's all we can draw from that.
Sure.
The case will draw more attention later on when he becomes more of a
more of a phenom, huh?
Well, just more of a known entity. People are like, hey, we just found out he's a rapist. Did you guys know that?
Yeah.
So that's interesting. Upon his release from jail here, he was far away, 300 kilometers away from home as well. Yeah. He ended up, despite having missed a third of the football season, won the league's Best and Fairest award by 5 votes.
Best and fairest, both.
Can you call a rapist the fairest, really?
I don't know if you can call him the best.
He might be the best rapist. I mean, why that would be horrible. It's still, if that's what you're doing, whatever, but fairest, is that? I don't think we can really do that.
No.
The following year, only 3 weeks after gaining his driver's license, he crashed his car into a road worker.
That's not.
That is horrifying.
You can't call it that, right?
Can't call it what? Crashing?
Just crashing it into a road worker? That's called vehicular homicide.
Well, he didn't kill the guy. That's why.
Oh, okay. So
he didn't
just
kill the guy.
Vehicular maiming?
Yeah, well, he found guilty of danger. Oh, he did kill the guy. My bad.
Oh,
yeah.
Jesus.
I don't know why I thought he wasn't dead. I thought he was injured very badly, but that's right. It's right in front of me. He was found guilty of dangerous driving causing death. For some reason, in my mind, it was not causing death, but it's causing death.
Wow.
And he's sentenced to, you, sir, may fuck off 18 months in jail, not years. 18 months.
Was he was sober at the time, evidently, huh?
Yeah, this is dangerous driving. So he was just, probably speeding in a work zone.
And only gets 18 months.
Killed a guy, 18 months. And he's a rapist.
Yeah. A rapist and vehicular homicide is on the street.
He's already raped and killed. This is a lot for a young man.
Australia's amazing. You can rape and kill and serve
amazing is a way to put it.
3.5 years.
Amazing is one way to put it.
3.5 years.
A little confused, I think, too. I mean, I get that he was a minor when this is going on. I think that's the main issue here. He was under 18. But while in prison, he was allowed to play football for North Mount Barker on day release.
Okay.
So he goes to prison, and they're like, he can still play during the day, which pissed lots of people off. 3.5
years total on 2 charges and work furlough is unbelievable.
That's on rape and killing a guy. This isn't, he didn't fucking, steal a Snickers bar from the 7-Eleven. No. This is.
That's a better deal than Epstein got.
No shit. It is. Except we have this guy's information. That's the only difference.
Yeah.
He's not being protected by.
We know everything about this guy.
Yeah, we know everything about this guy, unlike the other asshole. So that's what he does. Now his best season at Claremont was 1978. When he had 52 goals in 21 games. Yeah. And that was when people were like, oh, here we go. Here's a little thing here from it. There's a box score, which I can't figure out at all. It says J. Krakouer 3.0.
Yeah.
And then P. Krakouer 2.0. Some other people have 1.1. Someone's got 0.1. I don't know what the fuck any of that means, but something. It's got to mean something.
0.1.
In 1979, he is selected for his interstate debut representing Western Australia. So that's a big deal, apparently. Yeah. He's been very good for his first couple years. They said his goal kicking from difficult angles is a big deal with him.
Sure.
Which is odd. His career with Claremont was from 77 to 81. He played 101 games and kicked 196 goals. So I guess that's good.
That's good, yeah.
Yeah. He won the Claremont Fairest and Best Award in 1981.
All right.
And shared the Simpson Medal for his performance in Western Australia's state win over South Australia that year. So I think that's just for a game.
Okay.
Now he's got his on-field temperament is very aggressive.
Oh.
He hits and kicks people a lot. Which, it's strange. So that gets him into trouble a lot, gets him fined all the time and shit like that. He's, I guess, in Claremont, he had outbursts that they said made him like a regular, what they call tribunal attendee, which means he's always going before the AFL's board of whatever to give his excuses for what he did. So he had, again, Jesus Christ, these behaviors resulted in 16 reports. 9 guilty findings across 4 tribunal appearances, suspensions totaling 25 weeks, which is equivalent to missing an entire season.
Yeah, that's everything, yeah.
So if he played there 5 years, he only played there 4 years.
Yeah, right.
Because he was suspended a whole year. He ends up signing with North Melbourne at this point here. He's pursued there, and I guess the Krakouer brothers, both of them, him and Phil, both signed, he signed a 3-year contract worth a total of $750,000.
Sure.
This is in the early 80s. That's big money.
Great money, yeah.
Huge money. I mean, that's $250,000 a year back then is big. That's like 2021, it would have been $2,788,000.
Wow.
So not bad. He's doing well. He said he chose the Kangaroos over Geelong because it was due to Western Australian football legend Barry Cable being the North Melbourne coach and the contract payments being guaranteed rather than performance-based. Okay. Just say, they guaranteed my money.
Yeah, that's a big deal. Yeah.
If you're going to guarantee someone's money, I don't care who's coaching the team.
Play with the Roos for sure.
Doesn't fucking matter. Yeah, you could have Gehring come fucking coach the team. They're paying me, guaranteed. So there's an article here, April 26th, 1982, and the headline is "Blacks in the Big League."
Oh, got it.
And it has a picture of him. Him and his brother.
Yeah.
And it says Jim and Phil Krakouer here to play football and make money.
Yeah.
So I'll read for this article here. The racial abuse directed at Jim and Philip Krakouer by some sections of the crowd at North Melbourne VFL game 9 days ago was not quite as vicious as that hurled at West Indian soccer players in England in recent years. In London, for instance, large members of Chelsea fans go to matches wearing Nazi armbands and produce the Nazi salute every time a black player goes near the ball. That doesn't happen in Melbourne.
This is actually racism on full display.
Oh, they're wearing Nazi armbands and giving fucking Sig Heils when when a black guy goes near the ball.
Yeah. I thought you were mentioning remember that team the black something or others?
Yes.
They call them the Blacks?
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, we have merchandise from that.
Yeah.
People sent
What are they,
us.
the black wings? What are they, the black tips? I don't know.
I don't remember either. I don't remember. God damn it, I'm sorry. Isn't that cricket?
But either what is it?
Rugby? Rugby, that's rugby.
Yeah, it's a rugby. It's a rugby team.
All Blacks, aren't they, or something?
All Blacks, bingo.
All Blacks,
that's
there
it.
we go. Yeah. So that's in London.
Yeah.
How does that not...
How does that fly at all?
How does anyone allow that is what I don't get.
Right.
If I'm at a sporting event and the guy next to me...
fuck out of a guy sitting next to you in the stands for that.
The guy next to me has a Nazi armband and he fucking gives a Hitler salute. I'm beating him until I'm getting pulled off of him. Yeah. Essentially.
I'll go to jail.
I don't care if he stops moving.
Yeah.
Go to jail. I will fucking buy a T-shirt that said I beat that Nazi cunt to death. Fuck you. Fuck you. Are you not you? This is crazy.
Fine, fuck me. All right,
we go. Fuck you. Get over here. Roll your chair over here. I'm gonna fuck you in the mouth, Jimmie. No, this is crazy.
For willing to go to jail. James is willing to go to death row.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Happily.
Yeah.
My family didn't fucking crawl out of holes to come here from these fucking people to stand here and let this motherfucker do this shit next to me. I will fucking kill you. And you should too, and anybody else out there. Don't put up with this shit.
My family committed the atrocities, James.
Well, they were already over here being lazy. They would have been way too lazy if they were over there. The Whismans wouldn't have participated, I feel like. They wouldn't
put up with that shit.
They would have been like, I don't know what's going on.
How do we get out of work today?
Yeah. I don't know what's going on there, but God damn it. I
don't want to drive a train. What if we just say we're sick, guys?
No shit. So sad that it's like, hot take, Nazis are bad.
Isn't that crazy?
Full uniform,
what the
armband, Sig Heil. What are we doing?
Not even just like what they do. Like anything that's even close to resembling a trench coat. Fucking no. What are you doing? Why would you even consider wearing that? People do it.
They do it. They want it
every day, and they're like, "What do you mean?"
I don't get it at all. I don't get it. And
what do you mean? What do I mean? I failed history, and I still know.
I still know you're a fucking Nazi. Oh, Christ, man. This is, that's wild. I guarantee you there are people listening that are be like, well, fuck these guys. You know
whatever.
What I mean?
Fuck us
Bye.
then. Goodbye.
Eat dicks.
Don't come back.
I don't want your Nazi money.
Please don't come back. I'm tired of it.
Tell your friends, too.
Please, tell all your friends that I hate each and every one of you.
We hate you, and if you're near us, we'd happily kill you. So
we're going to death row for it.
We're going. Who's on board? Death row train, moving along. And that should be legal, by the way, to kill a Nazi. That should absolutely be legal. It should be rewarded. Like, we should be like,
God,
yay.
you should get,
Remember when, on Deadwood, when Al Swearingen put up a bounty for fucking Indian heads and the guy came in holding a fucking head rolling around for, that's what we should do.
Put
I got it. Look at this. Yeah.
Throw it in a box.
Whatever Nazi head. Well, blonde,
Let's all talk to it.
Not all Nazis
I'll gladly put it on a
blonde.
shelf next to us and podcast and talk to it.
Yeah, happily. Don't care. Fucking good. That would be great. Put it in a box.
Yeah.
Go over our machinations with it. So, Nazi head. All right, back to this. Jim Krakouer was hit by a beer cart. Does that say? Beer can. Sorry, the newspaper's hard to read.
Yeah.
Beer can at Essendon when he was standing in the goal square, and every time he went near the boundary line, he could clearly hear the chorus of voices singing out, quote, "You black bastard,"
They're throwing beer cans at him because he's black.
and chanting "black bastard." It's like, listen, my mom's name is Phoebe, all right?
And how dare you Nazis
Wow.
confuse me so hard? Because I kind of want to throw beer cans at him too, but not for being black.
No, for being a bad
rapist.
driver and a rapist. Yeah.
There's other reasons to be mad at this man.
You can yell rapist, rapist, rapist.
Right.
Well, how is that not worse than black? What are you talking about? What the fuck is wrong with people? Judge people by their actions, especially when they're rapists, you fucking idiot. It's way
Character, motherfuckers.
And you don't look like an asshole either at that point. You look like a good guy who's calling out a rapist. So, hey, everybody wins. The crowd was not, wow, goddamn, unique. Jim and Philip Krakouer have had to put up with blatantly racist taunts from football crowds since they moved from their home at Mount Barker, a small rural town 360 kilometers from Perth, to join Perth's Claremont Football Club. The taunts don't come just from the fans. Opposing players regularly use racial abuse as a weapon to put them off their game. It is considered a legitimate tactic by many VFL coaches who point out that Italian or Greek or Yugoslav players have to put up with the same sort of thing. Okay, well, stop doing it to everybody. Why are we doing it to anybody?
Anybody. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. VFL football, since its inception almost 100 years ago, has been a game dominated for the most part of its history by white people. Sir Douglas Nichols played with somebody, I can't read that, back in the 1930s, and over the years a handful of Aboriginal players like Sid Jackson and the incomparable Graham Polly Farmer have left their mark on the game. But the number of Aboriginal football players who made the grade in the VFL could be counted on the fingers on one hand. This is now changing. Jim and Philip Krakouer, signed by North Melbourne this year from Claremont, and staggered the football public with their skills in the opening games of the season. And they go on to talk about other guys who have done this. They said there has always been a sprinkling of Aboriginal players in the Western Australian football, but in recent years, the number has increased dramatically. Black players now comprise something like 8% of the football players in the West Australian League. Claremont's football manager, Mr. Roger Barnes, believes that Aboriginal football players have made an enormous impact on the game in Western Australia and that their influence is likely to grow.
All right.
He said most of them have phenomenal skills. Now he's going
to take it easy, Jimmy the Greek.
He's going to Jimmy the Greek himself right now.
Calm down.
You see, it's there's a certain they got a certain ligament we don't have. You see, that's the thing here, and they got a reactive ligament. You see, and it's you see, back when the Aboriginals, I'm going to fix this. You see.
See, this is what happened. Listen, it's science.
Oh, God. Okay.
Good genes, you guys. Good genes. Don't say that either.
Now, with the success of the Krakouer brothers and blokes like Rioli, the original Aboriginal players have developed the sort of confidence they need to succeed. Though they are bringing people through the turnstiles, though. They said, go out with some other people. One guy said, I travel all over the country, and it really has amazed me to find that the Krakouer boys and Rioli are known and admired all over the place. They've crested an enormous amount of interest among Aboriginal people. They're a focus for pride, heroes, I suppose, to many youngsters. Young blokes look at them and think, I can make it too. That's important. Yeah. There have always been Aboriginal kids with plenty of talent, but they didn't believe in themselves. Now they're starting to. Aboriginal footballers won't solve our problems, but I think it's important to our young people to have heroes. Well, yeah, it always helps to say, okay, that guy can do it.
Racism is accidentally propping up a rapist. That's fucked up.
That's crazy, yeah. So, yeah, they paid a bunch of money for them. They're talking about the investment was looking good at this point.
Yeah.
Philip, brother, said, we are here to play football. The problems we had from Mount Barker, are moving from Mount Barker to Perth, taught us a lot, and coming to Melbourne has been no problem. We know what we want. We want to play football, and we want to make as much money as we can. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
If you know what you want to achieve, insults and racial stuff can't hurt you. You learn to live with it, and eventually the opposition cuts it out because they know it won't work. That's a good point, sure. Or they just not do it. But they said, another person here said, they are so very determined to achieve their goals that they will let nothing stand in their way. Which, there you go. They're not doing it here. They said, of course, they cop racial abuse, but they can handle it. Everyone at North wants them to succeed in Melbourne. If Jim and Philip can maintain their ambition for the next 8 or 9 years, they will be financially set for life. What more can a young man ask? Okay. I don't know. Don't throw beer cans at me and call me the N-word would be great.
Happiness,
but other than that,
a quiet life.
Yeah, they said the youngsters who had 9 brothers and sisters back home in Mount Barker missed their family. They were both painfully shy and found it difficult to mix with other players. Officials at the club weren't sure how to handle them. One even said they were, quote, tribal aboriginals who had little contact with whites. So he says that the talk of him being a bush aboriginal used to annoy him. Yeah, he's like, I didn't come out of here fucking barefoot with paint on my face.
I'm not wearing fucking tire treads as sandals.
I have a ball that I found, and I think I can do something with it. I've been playing the game. I know what I'm doing. He said that it was annoying, but he couldn't understand it. He said, in fact, behavior blamed on bush or tribal, quote-unquote, attitudes was often a reaction to loneliness, reaction to loneliness and racist taunts on the field. They said by 1980, they had been reported 12 times between them, him and his brother, and have developed a reputation for being volatile, which probably helps on a football field, like any other football field. Yeah. So this is the coach here, said, I had to walk a thin line between how I treated the Krakouer brothers and how I treated the other players. They weren't fined or suspended for missing training when other players were. Then again, they had problems other players didn't have.
But like the racism, yeah.
Yeah, like that. Jesus Christ. We have a thing for what these stat abbreviations mean here. We have, this is what you can have for like stats. These are your categories. Yeah. Disposals, kicks, marks, handballs, goals, behinds, hitouts, tackles, freeze, and freeze against.
Handball. I thought you were allowed to touch it with your hands.
I have no idea. Australian, you throw it to each other. Don't they shovel it to each other? I don't understand how that works. Handballs. The only thing I understand on that is tackles. I can't understand anything else because I don't even know what a goal represents in this. So,
well, a goal you can run it across, but isn't the try the kick? Wait, or is it the opposite?
Then they would kick it from the field, like while they were running around. A guy would stop and just kick it, and then you'd have those guys in the suits that look like old time gangsters would like point their fingers out if it went through or not.
But you get less points for the kick than the actual try. I don't know.
It's got to be easier to kick it through than to run all the way up there, right?
Seems like it, yeah. Seems like if you kicked it from a few yards out rather than running across some fucking angry drunk Australian's fucking foot, it's a much easier.
Calling you black bastard while you do it. Yeah, it'd be harder.
Well, they pummel you with their forearms.
1982 North Melbourne Kangaroos.
Yeah, the Roos.
The Kangaroos. Jim said, you had to be fit to play in either league. You've got to be fit wherever you play. I used to love my training. I used to train how you play. If you train good and hard and get yourself fit, playing becomes easier because they've got the big crowds out there and that urges you on. At training, you and your teammates had to push yourself and help one another and encourage one another.
Sure.
He's a big practicer. Yeah. So the opposition clubs would be they didn't like these guys here. Jim said they played really close and they were disciplined players, meaning the players in the league. We used to get close attention for anything they were acting crazy or anything like that. The standard of VFL football was what the brothers expected, a step up from the Western Australian League competition here. Jim said the difference was in Western Australia, you may have had 4 or 5 champions in one side, but the Victorian sides had about 15 in the one side.
Yeah.
No idea what that means. It doesn't matter. Phil played 22 games that year. Jim had some injuries that year and played only 15 games, but they still played well. An incident happened in April of '82 when Krakouer was struck by a beer can that was thrown while they were hurling racial slurs down upon him.
Stop making me root for a rapist.
Stop it. In June '82, tensions escalated into a brawl involving Jim and another player, Rod Austin, triggered after Austin physically targeted Phil amid ongoing racial vilification. So while he was calling him racial slurs, he then tried to do something to him, and then his older brother Jim came in and said, "You're not going to call my brother that," and then fuck with him too on top of it. Not going to have that. Jim also alleged that media coverage included unaddressed racist commentary about his family's origins, contributing to a broader environment of unchecked discrimination that affected his on-field experience. In 1983, he's still on the Kangaroos, and they do apparently very well that year. They lose in like a championship game or something, but other than that, that's it. They said that they had, I guess, the playoffs were really hard and the season was really hard, and they said they had nothing left for the finals. So one of those tired teams in the finals. We've seen that before. So, and they said, Jim said, that's fair. He said, quote, "That's a fair comment. Playing Hawthorn and Essendon, they were young and up and coming. The Kangas, we tried our best and fell a little short in the end."
We're calling them the Kangas. Okay.
Kangas.
Not Roos. We're going with double. Yeah.
Why would you go with Kanga when you got Roo right there?
It's just right there.
In their second season, Jim and Phil both kicked 44 goals and shared the leading goal kicker award at North Melbourne. In 1984, the team sucks. They're terrible. They're 4-10. Not good. Jim played 14 games. They're saying he was like an enforcer on the team now and wouldn't back down from any abuse now. Now he's a grown man, and he's like, no one's calling me anything here. And he said he would use stray fists and elbows.
All right.
And journalists labeled him as fiery or undisciplined.
Right.
He was reported 3 times and missed 8 games through suspension and injury here. Jim said sometimes something may have been said. Other times it may have just been the heat of the game. So it's interesting. Jim remembers that the league ignored all the racial shit. He said a few times over in Melbourne, we copped it. You still had some some players that may have said things, but most of it was back in Western Australia. So he's saying among the players, it wasn't as bad in this league as back in the other league here.
Sure.
Which I guess is good here. They said that he took his complaints to, I guess, a guy on like one of the executives of the team that tried to calm him down. And I guess also here's mid-season 1984 at Oak Park Pro Football. The Oak Park Pro Football Club took their juniors to watch North Melbourne train and talk to the players and do all that shit. So, like a field trip for the juniors team to see. Jim wasn't training in the main group and was running laps with another guy. A kid from the under-12s at the fence started racially abusing Jim as he jogged past. An under-12-year-old said, "Let me hurl racial slurs at that professional football player."
Why does he know how to do that?
That is crazy. So I guess the other guy he was jogging with, Bryant, made a step for the fence, and Jim just kept running. Okay. The kid ran away after he said that, obviously.
Because, he's a child, and when confronted by an adult, they tend to cower.
Yeah. Well, Jim says, quote, "Racism is taught. If you put kids together, they'd play with one another because they don't know any different." Which I think we've scientifically proven that, too.
Yep.
North Melbourne didn't protest because Jim didn't say anything, didn't make a big deal out of it. He said in the 80s it happened all the time.
Okay.
And that's what it was. I guess a coach here, Barry Cable, quit after the 84 season and was replaced by another coach. And he said the Kangas used to train hard. He'd come from Hawthorne and had commando training methods.
Yeah.
The new guy. So he's excited about that. January 1985. Okay, this is bad. He's arrested in Melbourne and charged with 20 counts of sexual offenses against a 14-year-old girl.
Jim, what happened?
Including multiple instances of indecent assault. I don't know, but that's not good. I mean, that's bad. From what we see, some of the charges ended up being dismissed. They say charges of abduction, unlawful imprisonment, and attempting to pervert the course of justice here were dismissed.
All right.
So we can put that pervert in another part of this case and do it that way.
Yeah.
So after reading through the record of interview and without hearing evidence from the victim of the alleged offenses, the judge had decided to discharge Mr. Krakouer on those charges. He will decide today whether Krakouer should be committed to trial on 26 charges of sexual penetration and 4 counts of assault. Whoa.
What the fuck?
That is crazy. Krakouer here had been released on bail after being charged at first with 20 counts of sexual penetration of a girl under 16 years of age, abduction and unlawful imprisonment, and 4 counts of assault. He was rearrested on March 18th and charged with a further 6 counts of sexual penetration and 2 of attempting to pervert the course of justice. His bail was revoked. Jim had said in his record of interview that he had been having a sexual relationship with the girl. Okay, don't care if it's consensual. She's 14 and you're 29. 29,
I don't know what the laws
28.
in Australia are. Obviously
it can't be
not
14.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Right? If it is, what the fuck are you doing, Australia? This is insane. Okay, does he realize that that's it right there? I've been fucking this girl, but I thought she wanted it. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. How do you?
14.
Yeah.
Wow. That's awful.
No. My.
Yeah. I guess the girl was unable to give evidence after breaking down and weeping in the witness box. Because she's a child and all. Right. The detective, senior constable Graham Cleves, that sounds very Australian or English, of Fairfield, said in court that Mr. Krakouer had told him in an interview in January that he had known the girl for about 6 months. He said he had sexual relations with the girl about 4 or 5 times a week. A week. 4 or 5 times a week.
You're so horny for a child. You're doing. My
you have
God.
a hot new girlfriend that you're really into. When you have a new girlfriend, that's what this is.
Yeah.
4 or 5 times a week.
At the beginning. Ooh.
14.
Yeah. James, it is 16 in Australia.
Yeah, I knew it wasn't 14.
The 14
I had a good feeling about that.
And then it says age of consent laws in Australia, and I clicked it, and then it started doing these. I don't like that. I don't like that. It just put me on a list.
And then the SWAT team just came knocking on your door.
I fucking hate this. Somebody's at my door with a koala on their
cops. Yeah.
Oh, what are you searching that for, right?
You're like, so you guys just wear the croc hat and the vest, huh? That's your uniform.
Such a thing, huh?
All right, I guess so. Fine, I guess I'll go with you. So, and this often happened at the girl's mother's apartment as well.
Oh God, that's so gross.
He came over. Wow. The mother told the court that she had known since December that her daughter was having a sexual relationship with Mr. Krakouer. Why were you allowing that? You should be charged as well. She said.
How old is he at this point?
28, 29.
Too old, yeah.
Way too old.
Way.
Twice this girl's age. The mother said that on January 19th, her daughter had gone to her in a distressed state with bruises to her head and a bite mark on her cheek. So that's when she took her daughter to the police. Hey, my daughter, I've been allowing her to fuck a 29-year-old, but now it's gone too far.
It's rougher than I expected.
Wow. So this April 24th, 1985, the North Melbourne footballer Jim Krakouer sat in his car outside the Office of Corrections Attendance Center in East Brunswick today, just a few hours after being convicted of charges of assault and sexual penetration of a minor.
Sat in his car after that?
Is his car, like, in the prison?
Is it in his cell?
Are they taking him in with everything? Yeah, you can live in your car, but you have to do it in here. He said that although he was not entirely free, at last, quote, it is all over. Your career should be all over.
Everything should be over, let's be honest.
Wow. So he'd been found guilty on 1 charge of assault and 20 of sexual penetration.
Dear God.
He is sentenced to, you, sir, may fuck off 100 hours of community service. That's like littering. That's littering should be 100. What are you talking about?
We got to take this so much more seriously.
I mean, I get it's 1985 and we've come a long way, but
but clean up the freeway for 2 weeks
people in public. That's crazy.
That's unbelievable.
Speaking after his first visit to the Office of Corrections, Krakouer said he has been under considerable pressure since charges were laid against him. The case, he said, had, quote, not really affected his career. That's a shame.
Oh, boy.
And he doubted the outcome would influence his prospects. They don't care if I fucked a child. That's fine. And was not worried that he'd be jeered during matches. It'd just be a different jeering rather than racial slurs. They'll call me a rapist.
Being honest, I'd rather hear that.
Yeah, at least I did that. At least that's for the content of my character. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm a piece of shit.
I'm Martin Luther King of them.
Yeah, it's very nice now, yeah. Krakouer was charged on 26 counts originally. They said on Monday, 10 of the charges, 6 counts of sexual penetration, 2 of having attempted to pervert the course of justice, 1 each of abduction and unlawful imprisonment were discharged. So he pleaded guilty to the other 20 counts plus.
Yeah.
He was ordered here to perform concurrently 50 hours of community service on each of the charges of sexual penetration and another 50 hours on the charge of assault.
Okay.
A condition of the sentence is that he report to the Office of Correction by 3 o'clock yesterday. They said that the case was, quote, an unusual manner in which Krakouer and the girl appeared to share mutual affection. That doesn't matter.
I don't care.
That doesn't matter. There's lots of 14-year-old girls who would love... Yeah. Because they've been abused or they've had whatever the fuck happened to them, they would love to fuck 30-year-olds. The thing is, as a 30-year-old, you have to go, you're a child, and this is bad, and try to give them guidance. Don't fuck them. Yeah. Don't guide them with your dick.
I'm into older men. All right, well, when you're old enough, you can be into them.
About 4 years from now, do whatever you want. But
good for you.
You're a freshman at the moment.
Yeah. When I was when I was a teenager, you beat off, I beat off to older women. But
why not?
But if you have sex with them, if they're willing to do that, that's disgusting.
Absolutely. And this is way different, but the 14-year-old brain of a 14-year-old boy and a 14-year-old girl work very differently.
Yeah.
A 14-year-old girl really, for the most part, unless they've had something happen to them or had some problems with something, that's the only reason why they want to fuck older guys.
Yeah.
Whereas guys just go, tits. We don't care how old they are.
Yeah, well, those are cool.
When you're 14, 15, 40, tits, great tits. I don't care where they are or what they're attached to.
And I'm sure it happens, but I never witnessed a 14-year-old going, I want to fuck his brains out. I see them writing on a Trapper Keeper, Mrs. Tom Cruise.
They want to marry them at 14.
Right.
Exactly.
I want to have his babies one day.
The problem is the guy and you might be mature and you might have great intentions as a child, but any guy who would have sex with you or any guy who would consider that is so fucking damaged that it doesn't matter.
It's vile.
It's vile. Disgusting. Yeah, that should never enter. When you're 30, the only thing you should think about a 14-year-old is I can't wait till this 14-year-old goes away so I can do drugs and have sex with adults.
Right.
This 14-year-old, I have to fucking watch them, make sure nobody else has sex with them or doesn't.
Can't wait for this child to leave so I can start having fun.
Yeah, that's our whole lives. Yeah. So if you don't feel that way, I'm creeped out by you as a man.
That's crazy, man.
They said while he, quote, behaved poorly toward her, and that is reflected in the charge of assault. The lawyer said Krakouer had to spend time in jail until an application for bail was granted, and he's also been subject to a, quote, great amount of public attention. Good. He fucking fucked a child. What are you talking about? Earlier, counsel for Krakouer, Mr. Brian Bork, said his client had originally been granted bail with a condition that he not contact the girl. However, Mr. Bork said there was certainly an effort by the girl to continue the relationship. She phoned him at home at least 20 times and had even gone to the Krakouer's home until his wife, Mrs. Fiona Krakouer, he's fucking married.
Why are you having sex with 14-year-olds when you're married?
The wife sent her away with money for a taxi.
Oh, Jesus.
Dude. And then hopefully went in and stabbed her husband in the face. This is crazy. Are you kidding me, dude?
Send her to the hospital with a rape kit.
Yeah. Everyone's acting like, oh, this poor misguided child. Let's just give her cab fare, send her on her way. She's been fucking, this is crazy.
Yeah.
This is crazy. The magistrate cited his prior clean record beyond his 74 conviction for fucking rape.
Right.
That's not a clean record. I guess once he's an adult, it's expunged or whatever.
Yeah.
And his status as a professional athlete cited that as a mitigating factor, that he's a professional athlete. How is that a mitigating factor?
That's an aggravator, if you ask me. He's gone and moving around all over the place. That's scary.
With lots of young girls watching him, cheering him on.
Influence.
This is insane.
Yeah.
This is insane. That's not a mitigating factor. And then opted against imprisonment despite the fact that he admittedly fucked a 14-year-old girl 4 or 5 times a week. I'm pretty disgusted here. This is horrifying. 1985 against Melbourne. This is on the field here. Field umpire Rowan Sawyers reported Jim for kicking Alan Jarrett off the ball. As Sawyers ran in to report Jim, Jarrett reportedly said, "Did you see what he did?" Recalling the incident, Jim said he didn't kick Jarrett. He said, "We were both walking alongside one another, and he was my tag for the day." I guess he's the guy you're covering. I got him. It was like when you're at school. You stick your foot out and put your arm on their back and try to trip him.
Say again?
Tried to trip the guy, like you do at school. You know, when you trip a person and they fall on their face.
All right.
You put your foot out and then you push them into it. Sure. Recalling the incident, Jim says he didn't kick Jarrett. So I tried to trip him, not kick him. There's a difference.
Oh.
He said, He said, you stick your foot out and you try to do that. Now, at the tribunal, which is the little hearing for this, Jarrett disputed the evidence and said, "My initial reaction was that I thought he tried to knee or kick me, but on reflection, I only felt a brush above the thigh." Now, this was Jim's 4th appearance at the tribunal. After deliberating for 16 minutes, they upheld the report and handed down a 6-week suspension. The league sentenced him to more for trying to trip a man.
Right.
Then the court sentenced him for repeatedly fucking a 14-year-old.
The courts.
This is crazy. Boy. The only way to get real justice here is for him to fuck her on the field in the middle of a game, and then he'll get in trouble.
Or in the locker room, or really anywhere in this field.
Somewhere where a ref can see it and report it to the tribunal, obviously. This is a fucking joke, man.
Wow.
Wow. At the time, Jim led various newspaper awards, including the Age's Football Player of the Year award by 14 votes. So he was going to be like the MVP, and then this happened. Jim said, "I wish the cameras would have been in then because they would have picked up that I didn't try to kick him." So they took the case to court to have the verdict overturned, but it didn't happen. So there you go. Now, anyway, we'll go. Who cares what the Kangaroos did without him in the finals? None of that really matters. The Krakouer brothers were, in '86, praised for their highly skillful play and the manner in which they often passed to each other from almost any position. They were referred to as the Pele and Maradona of the VFL.
Oh, wow. That's high praise.
Those are high praise,
You know, 2 of the best ever.
Of soccer, yeah. So Jim was awarded the Sid Barker Medal for most rapes of a 14-year-old girl without being imprisoned. For best and fairest, again, fairest. Right. And topped the goal kicking again in '86 as well. Unreported but documented aggressive acts included a 1986 left hook to a guy's head.
Oh, my God.
Mark Harvey, after being kneed in the head, highlighting his enforcement-like role amid physical and verbal provocations. They said, quote, North Melbourne ended up in the 1986 season with consecutive losses to Sydney and Hawthorn. It set the tone for the season, and the North missed the finals on the percentage. But Jim provided one of the great spectacles of the MCG under lights against the Hawks. A lesson in roving. He gathered 26 possessions and kicked 3 goals.
Great.
His last goal almost got North over the line. Jim snatched the ball from the pack and sprinted into the pocket, dobbing a goal with his left foot from 30 meters out. Nice. The goal sent the crowd and commentators wild. Would have sent us into confusion. Just
blows my mind,
of
James.
Confusion. What the hell are you talking about?
Yeah.
So they said that Jim could turn it on. He could also take retribution. In the final round against Essendon at Windy Hill, Mark Harvey kneed Jim in the head. When Jim found his feet, he wasn't sure if Harvey kneed him deliberately. Players pushed and shoved. As Harvey mouthed off, Jim closed it with a perfect left hook to the chin.
Dang.
And he said, I didn't get reported for that. Snuck that one in. Such incidents, while earning bans, were often framed by Jim and observers as defensive responses to unsanctioned aggression or vilification in an era with limited umpire intervention on racial abuse. His career thus reflected a volatile mix of skill and indiscipline, with tribunals prioritizing the act over contextual intent. So Jim and Phil signed for a further 5 years after the season, though. He just went from court right back on the field and everybody ignored it like that. He didn't just fuck 14-year-olds. What are we doing?
That's unbelievable, man.
Australia, man. I get that it's 40 years ago, but get it together over there. So
in 80s, fair attitude about it. That's for sure.
We can't have all this coming out. Crocodile Dundee's finally doing something, making us some waves. None of this can get out.
Wait till they hear the bloomin' onion.
Oh, forget it. They're going to go crazy. In 87, they said in his best season, he played 20 games and kicked 31 goals from 418 disposals. Mm-hmm. I don't know what that means.
Something. Right from the kitchen.
Yeah. Problem, though, he hurt himself here. He fucked his ankle up. He said, I tore all my ligaments. Yeah. The medics put his ankle in a plaster for a couple days. Then the doc assessed the injury. They said Jim had no chance of playing in the elimination final. So he was out for the year pretty much. And he said, footy is a funny game. Things happen. It would have been good to be out there and try to help the boys out, but it didn't pan out that way. Sure. Figured I'd just go home and find a nice 14-year-old to cuddle up with, make myself feel better. 1989 Kangaroos, they missed the finals this year as well. Jim plays very well. Whatever. He is restricted to 11 games, though, because of injury and suspension. 1990, the St. Kilda Saints. I guess the coach for where he was playing, North Melbourne, quit his job there. Yeah. So the Krakouer brothers were 3 years into a 5-year contract, but they just didn't really like it. Jim said, we had the preseason and we had a few issues there and decided to move on with the coach. Yeah. He said, we didn't want to leave North. Our last contract would have given us 10 years at the Kangas. That's what we wanted. Would have been good to finish at one club and play 10 years, be a life member, and you regret that, but things happen. So now they're on different teams. Okay. So that's interesting.
The brothers?
His brother. Yeah, they're actually on different teams for once. Okay. He signs with the St. Kilda or whatever it is. 1991, at age 32, he's limited to 3 games. Mm-hmm. Injury, suspension, that kind of shit. His career has been, this is from 82, since he's been in VFL. 15 games, 18 games, 14 games, 18 games, 19 games, 20 games, 19 games, 11 games, 10 games, 3 games.
Oh, 3 games.
3 games, so it's gone all the way to there. 1992, he went to Werribee, Werribee, Werribee.
You sure? Might just be Werribee.
Werribee, might be. You never know. It should be Werribee. They should spell it better. So they said he had soft tissue injuries there. He said, I played 3 or 4 games for Werribee, but kept breaking down. I was 33 by then, and my body had had enough. Okay. He's done. So February 2nd, 1994. He's done playing, but he's not done getting arrested, that's for sure. He's in court, quote, on drug counts. Let's find out what happened here. He's facing charges related to Western Australia's biggest amphetamine seizure.
What? Biggest?
Biggest.
He does everything really awful.
This is crazy. Remember the last time we had an Australian with the drugs and they were like being chased by the Navy?
Yeah.
That shit is crazy.
How was he doing this?
Well, he was arrested Monday night after police seized 5.36 kilos of amphetamines from a house in the Perth suburb. That might be the start of it.
Okay. It better be, because that is fucking
that's not a lot.
Weak for the most.
You can go to any fourth house in West Virginia has that much meth in there. Any one of them. Just pick a neighborhood. Pick a holler.
That's a very small amount.
It's a very small amount. Yeah. By American standards, that is really nothing.
You guys still got your teeth with that amount.
Oh, for years. You're doing
Never
great.
seen the guts of a boombox? What the fuck are you doing?
Fuck no. Hell no. Never took your dad's car apart and then couldn't put it back together. Nothing. He was also charged with him is Ross Philip Calder here as well. Sure. He was not required to enter a plea on one charge of conspiracy to possess amphetamines with intent to sell or supply, and 2 counts of attempting to possess amphetamines with intent to sell or supply. Okay. The prosecutor said the men were arrested after police followed a car to the Hilton Park house and executed a search warrant. He said 5.36 kilos of amphetamines were found in the compartment in the car, and the men were remanded on $250,000 bail. Okay. So another newspaper, it says Krakouer, quote, caught, and that's in quotes for some reason, caught. The former North Melbourne and St. Kilda Rover.
What is that? I guess allegedly caught? I don't know what that means.
It makes no sense. I guess they said they were, quote, caught in the act, and that's in quotes. So it was a shorter quote from a longer quote. Recovering a powder substituted by police for 5.36 grams of amphetamine. Okay. The Krakouer and his co-accused appeared in court in a successful attempt to have their sureties reduced, so their bail, and so they're going to be released on bail. Next up, October 27th, 1995, big article in the newspaper, The Decline of Jimmy Krakouer.
Here we go.
Jimmy Krakouer, and nobody cares because he fucked a 14-year-old. As he began, so we'll do the sentence. He's sentenced, too, for all these drugs. You, sir, may fuck off 16 years in jail. Let's get this straight. Rape?
You have a tiny amount of meth.
Rape, killed a guy, fucked a 14-year-old like they were on their honeymoon. Fine.
I mean, all of that combined.
Yeah.
Half the time? Not even half.
Less meth than 50% of the cars roaming around the state of West Virginia is fine. That's prison. That's you're going to prison for. Australia, you got your weird fucking priorities, everybody. Real
fascinating. Weird. Don't poison people that want it. No. But if you fuck a child, we will certainly not take it very seriously.
Hey, did she think you were cute? Well, then it's fine. What? No.
Did she want a relationship?
Yeah. It was the decline that many of those closest to him during his decade-long league career had feared, but had been so powerless to prevent. Wow. As so many of them had predicted, Krakouer had failed to cope with life after football. The coach that came in, that he left when the guy came in, said, I was always concerned about what he would do with himself when he finished playing. Well, now he's a convicted drug runner, sentenced to 16 years in jail.
Ooh.
I guess the plan was to move these kilos of meth from Melbourne to Perth, hidden behind front door panels of an old car that they would truck across. So they would put it in the car, put the car in a trailer and go. Yeah. That's how they were doing it. The plan was thwarted by police who substituted flour for the drug and followed the car to the Krakouer family home. Oh,
they found the meth, jammed flour in it, and then followed it.
Yeah, in case they lost him.
Yeah.
In passing sentence, the Western Australian District Court judge said, references from family and friends just add up to what a disgrace you brought to yourself and your family and to all those who have known you and given you the chance. You showed no remorse.
Right.
Take that speech and put it in front of the time when he got sentenced for fucking a 14-year-old a bunch of times. Do that.
Holy.
Krakouer wiped tears and looked away from a crowded courtroom, which included his wife, Fiona, and 20 members of his extended family, as Judge Gunning described him as the man behind the operation and condemned his, quote, vicious trade. The judge declared Krakouer a drug trafficker, according to the Crown, to apply the court to seize his assets. That's what they're trying to do now. Yeah. According to many people associated with Krakouer during his footballing days, his demise started with a gambling addiction that grew out of control. He is just a mess.
He's got such a gambling addiction. Jesus. He needs to move kilos of meth to
pay for his gambling, I guess. Wow, that's when you know you're in deep.
That's a problem.
When you're gambling so bad you have to sell kilos of meth to get your gambling money up.
That's a different form of Breaking Bad. That's terrible.
Oh, that's crazy, yeah. Like many footballers, Krakouer could regularly be found at the races and the fights, but his love of the punt extended to various two-up schools around Melbourne. This, said one North Melbourne person, was his undoing. This is a chief executive for North Melbourne, I guess, for the team he played for. And he said there were always rumors floating around about Jim and who he might have been mixing with. I think he was the victim at different times of falling into the hands of different elements around a football club. They're always there to cart him off in the wrong direction. Another guy from the team said Jimmie would do anything for his mates, but they'd lead him astray. He'd get sucked in.
All right.
Okay, great. But he also fucked a kid.
Right.
They said
is he bringing friends into it now? Is that what he's saying?
Who knows? That lifestyle was tolerated while he was playing football because his contracts provided him with generous income. During the trial, the court was told that he earned $870,000 from North during his career.
Right.
The executive said Jim spent his money almost as soon as he earned it. He didn't have a trade to help utilize the time when he wasn't playing. That was certainly a concern. We all shared those fears. The people at North always tried to put Jimmie on the right path.
So he's making money and spending it immediately?
Apparently so.
Wow.
Just spending it all, not thinking about any of the future.
That's so scary.
One of the coaches said, I was the one who carried the responsibility for that. And when you pick up the paper, you feel a sense of failure at a time when he had a real chance to step up or set up his life, and he didn't do it. They said it wasn't as though there was a shortage of role models. North has long been an entrepreneurial club with plenty of businessmen to steer him in the right direction. And then there was his brother Phil, who thrived in the atmosphere at North and established a stable lifestyle. And Phil's not a fuck-up like Jim.
Right.
This coach said, Jimmie was a scrapper, the sort of bloke you'd want to have in the trenches with you. Phil was more out for himself, drove a harder bargain at the negotiating table, and was more aloof. Oh, man. So another article says, Krakouer was angry at the world despite the advantages it had given him. He was preyed on by hangers-on who some believe led him astray. He hated talking to the media. He boiled inside about the racism on the football field, and he made himself feel better by spending money. One guy said, I never succeeded in getting Jim to understand that there would come a point in his life when his income from football would cease and that the lifestyle he'd been able to lead was going to dry up.
Right.
Yeah. He said he's a victim because he wasn't able to use the God-given talent to set up his life, so he didn't have this need to chase the magical dollar. He said, they said he won big and lost. One day, and lost big too. Won big, lost big. One day, he won $30,000 at a racetrack.
Hell yeah.
The coach said Jim was easy come, easy go. No one would have known if he'd won or lost because he just acted the same. He was so used to it. And he said gambling was one thing, a habit the club could help manage. North made sure Krakouer never got close to going broke. Drugs were something different. Ron Joseph had been disturbed to hear Krakouer being linked to drug rumors. He said, toward the end of my time at North in the end of the 80s, I had been told by a couple of sources that there had been problems with drugs. He said he denied it to me. I sat him down and read the riot act to him. What are you doing to yourself and your family? He was always chasing his tail financially. We started out with all good intentions to get into savings and investment deals. He would have different managers, and half of them were Johnny-come-latelys trying to put a wedge between the player and the club.
Oh, boy.
Even North supporters. Your average footy supporter loves to get involved with a player. They're a dime a dozen. Stand out like dog's balls. Stand out like dog's balls.
What?
That is a great Australianism right there. Stand out like dog's balls, everybody.
Especially today when most dogs don't even have them. You know what
really
I mean?
see them, right? Look at those balls on that dog. Holy shit. Said they have no interest in the player than being seen with him. Jimmie was always looking for the bloke that might help him double his money overnight so he could always be spun a good tale. Yeah, he's easy to scam. Away from the track and the gambling halls, he was a good husband to Fiona.
Oh, my God.
They literally said that.
How
he was a
could
good
you?
husband to Fiona. He was criminally fucking children. What are you talking about?
Great husband.
Great husband. He cheated on me, but it was only with a child, so it's okay. You know, no chance for a relationship. What the fuck are we talking about?
Holy.
A good father to their 4 children.
Oh,
now at school. Wow.
If you're having 4 children, you're having so much sex in your marriage. What do you need this? She's just too old
really
for him.
horny.
Yeah.
Must be, I don't know.
I can't imagine, man.
He said Krakouer didn't drink or smoke or take drugs, according to Mark Asseri. Krakouer would offer to drive less sober teammates around, quote, while you blokes have a good time.
Yeah, boy.
This guy said he and Krakouer, North's 2 Rovers. By the way, this Asseri guy's now a plumber while he's talking to this. So he didn't save his money either, apparently. Became close friends whose families socialized together. The pair came together when Krakouer became our series mentor, showing him the finer points of roving. Later, they shared the love of what Asseri called the adrenaline rush of gambling. Injured in the stands one day, Asseri physically confronted a supporter who called out racist comments to his friend.
Jesus.
Asseri said, I had to be pulled off by a teammate. The court was told that he earned $870,000 at North, but money, as it is to gamblers, was easily dispensed. Krakouer's inability to hold down a job meant he had a lot of time to gamble. He said he never got past the first or second week. I don't know what that's about. They said they remember seeing him at the Western Oval after he retired. He said he always wanted to have a trucking business. He told me he was ready to get his truck. That pleased me. But then I guess he never did. So they said the great champion he had lured east had turned out to be a luminous figure in Australian football, a great giver of pleasure to all football fans. His name itself conjured something exquisite and inexplicable. In less correct times, the then VFL marketed the Krakouers as Aboriginal art. Football fans love mystery, and Jimmie Krakouer was football's biggest mystery. And now Krakouer is a failure. Maybe Ron Joseph's failure. Mr. Joseph blames himself. He said, Jimmie knows I genuinely tried to point him in the right direction. I feel disappointed I didn't help him better at the time. I wasn't tough enough with him.
All right.
So June 19th, 1988, he's trying to get his shit overturned.
Oh?
And basically, his defense seems to be, I'm too dumb to do this. He's got the Pedro Guerrero defense. I couldn't possibly have masterminded anything.
Yeah.
If you don't know, Pedro Guerrero
I'm a moron.
was a Dodgers player and Cardinals, but in the 80s he got busted, I think, for drugs or some financial thing. And he said, his lawyer said, he's so dumb he can't tie his shoes. There's no way he did this. That was his defense. I'm too stupid, which can't be true. So he said the news yesterday that Jimmie Krakouer had somehow balked the biggest tackle of his life would have come as no surprise to the dozens of hapless opponents who had been sent out to noble the brilliant North Melbourne Rover, only to come away empty-handed. The football analogy may seem trite. Yeah, it is. It does, given his circumstances. Yeah. But it's also apt because Krakouer was one of the game's magical players of his generation. But the quintessential flawed genius, like George Best and John McEnroe in other fields of sporting endeavor, Jim Krakouer's career veered alarmingly between monumental highs and depressing lows. Oh, shit.
Depressing lows? Those are incredible. It's a very trivial way to say what he's done. Depressing. Criminally, Depraved lows, not depressed. What are we talking about?
Depraved and depressed and
it's
defiling.
A crazy low.
Crazy fucking lows. They said, but yesterday there came a glimmer of hope for Krakouer, who had spent months in his maximum security cell waiting for word on high court appeal. The court ruled that Krakouer's drugs conviction be quashed and a retrial ordered.
What? Oh, boy.
He is likely to be released from his jail in Albany next week and appear in the Perth District Court seeking bail. His brother Phil said it's been a long time coming. He was very optimistic, but he's a positive sort of person. But let's be honest, he's done it very hard as well. About 3 years before this, Mom passed away, so it's been a very difficult time for my family. Oh, man. His lawyer said he could not quite believe what he was hearing. He's been waiting since early November for this result to come down, and with the passage of time, he was a little depressed. He was a little depressed and thought it was going to be bad. Okay, so he's going to get a retrial here.
Jesus.
During this, I have this appeal. Now, I'm going to find this has way more details about the arrests and all that kind of thing. So we'll find out exactly what he was up to a little more. Now, reading Australian court documents, a little bit different from reading American court documents. So bear with me. Just not the same. They describe the act of he and Ross Philip Calder were charged on indictment. This is the Misuse of Drug Acts of 1981.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Count 1 alleged that between January 1st, 94 and February 1st, 94, the accused conspired together to possess a quantity of meth with an intent to sell or supply it to another. Count 2 alleged that on January 31st, the accused attempted to possess another quality of meth with intention to sell or supply to another. Calder pleaded guilty and was dealt with separately. The appellant pleaded not guilty and was convicted. He appealed against the conviction and was sentenced to the Court of Criminal Appeal in Western Australia, but his appeals were dismissed. He now appeals to this court by special leave. This is what he got overturned from this document. The leave was limited to the ground alleging that the Court of Criminal Appeal ought to have found that the primary judge erred in his direction to the jury concerning the application of certain laws. So jury instructions for American translation. The judge did not give proper jury instructions, which we saw a guy get his murder overturned on small-town murder last week based on that. So they said that on January 31st, 1994, police went to a transport depot in Welshpool, Western Australia, and searched a white Datsun Bluebird sedan.
Whoa, boy.
We don't have those here.
Yeah.
I know, right? A Nissan here. The car had just arrived on a truck from Victoria. Police took the car away and found in the cavity of each front door a green garbage bag containing 6 packages. The packages were found to contain a total of 5.3 kilograms of meth. The police made up substitute bags containing packages of flour and put them back in the door cavities together with a listening device. And they bugged the car.
Nice work.
Wow. The car was taken to the warehouse of a company called Bohol Express, where it was kept under surveillance. Later that day, Jim and Calder came to the warehouse in a panel van that was driven by Calder. A police officer posing as an employee of Bohol Express obtained Calder's signature to a delivery docket acknowledging receipt of the car. He made him sign for it. These guys... committing a criminal act. Here's my signature. There we go.
This is my name. I am the worst guy.
That is hilarious. They gave him the keys to it together with a copy of the delivery docket and watched Calder drive out of the yard. Calder drove the car to an address in Hilton. This Jim followed immediately behind him, driving the panel van in which they had arrived at the premises of Bohol Express. The property in Hilton was occupied by one of the appellant's brothers, Andrew. So that's one of Jim's brothers. The car and later the panel van were driven into the backyard of the house. After a short time, police drove through the closed gates into the yard to find the panel van and car parked beside each other, and Jim, Calder, and Andrew in the yard near the vehicle. All 3 men were arrested.
Yeah.
When the police arrived in the yard, The door handle was off the inside of the front passenger door, and and on the ground beside the door was one of the bags of flour.
Yeah, they were already taking the door panels off. You got to get the handle off to get the door panel off.
So it's not like they can say, we didn't know that had that in there.
We didn't know that was in there.
It out.
Why are you taking the door panel off then?
Yeah, that's real common. That's what I do. Like I rent a car, I take it apart first just in case.
As soon as I take possession of a vehicle that I just purchased, I really like to get to the nuts and bolts of it and see where the glass goes when it rolls down.
That's what I like to see. Does it disappear?
Yeah.
Does the fridge light go off when I close it? It's one of those things.
Where does the window go?
Where does it go? So that's what they're doing. Calder was searched and found to have in his possession both of the Bohol Express freight receipts, which had been issued at the point of consignment, and a copy of the delivery docket. Apart from Jim being present when the car was collected from the transport company warehouse and when the substitute powder was being removed from the car doors at the property in Hilton, there was other evidence which connected him with the drugs that had originally been secreted in the car. Pursuant to a warrant, police had intercepted telephone calls from the house where the three men were arrested at and which Krakouer lived. That's Andrew, not Jim. This is Andy's house they're at here. Those conversations included conversations between Jim and a man called Foster, in which the appellant, Jim, nominated Calder as the person to whom Foster should consign the car. A car which Foster said had, quote, got new speakers in both front doors. Code for the appellant. Phone calls made by Foster from a mobile telephone were also intercepted pursuant to a warrant, and those conversations including Foster arranging for the dispatch of the Datsun Bluebird car to Perth, then telling Jim of the arrangements which he had made. One of these conversations here, Jim asked Foster whether he had to pay for the transporting of the car, to be told by Foster that Foster, had paid and would send him the receipt. You got to be able to write this off. Jesus.
Right. Yeah. I need some deductions around here.
I mean, what are we doing here? Yeah, tax time comes around. You're going to want this. In addition, by means of the listening device, which police had put in the car when they took the drugs from it and replaced it with flour, police recorded the conversation between the two men, presumably Andrew Krakouer and Calder, while they were working on the car to gain access to the door cavities. In the course of that conversation, there was an exchange in which one man asked for the bag, quote unquote, to receive the answer, quote, why I got to get this lot out. I guess get this shit out of here. That's why I got to do it. To which the first man replied, Jimmie wants it now. So he's in there. In that context, it could only have referred to Jim Krakouer.
Yeah.
Evidence
not
was
big guy, not boss, not the man up
Jimmie
top.
wants it now. Wants his Coke and he wants it now. Or wants
Thanks
it now.
a lot, Dix.
Thanks for mentioning my name. Evidence was given at the trial that very soon after Jim was arrested, a police officer asked him whether he was a user of amphetamines.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good enough question, right?
Sure.
He answered no. So he was like, no, not me. No other evidence was given, so that at least he could have said, it's for me.
Yeah.
I just like to buy in bulk, so it's cheaper.
I got such a problem getting it oftentimes. I gotta have it on hand.
I got a hankering. Let me tell you something. They said no other evidence was given of any statement by Jim to police, and the appellant did not give evidence or call any other evidence at trial.
Okay.
So that's what we have, which seems like pretty guilty from all the described.
It's not good.
Definitely doesn't sound innocent. So they're talking about the misuse of drug acts, which we don't need to get into all that. So basically, they overturned it. I'm not sure why. They said, in the course of his summing up, the primary judge read count 1 of the indictment to the jury and instructed the jury that all the elements that the Crown had to prove were contained in the count. He then took each of those elements and, having defined conspiracy as an agreement to do an unlawful act, identified the relevant unlawful act as being to possess a quantity of meth with intent to sell or supply to another.
Sure.
The judge said to possess a quantity of what they call it methylamphetamine. Of course, methylamphetamine is an unlawful drug, and I can tell you that it is unlawful to possess that. Of course, that is not in dispute and has not been raised by the defense. But you may be wondering what it goes on with intent to sell or supply to another. That simply means this. Under our Misuse of Drugs Act, under which both charges are laid, they say a person with the intent to sell or supply it to another has in his possession a prohibited drug commits an indictable offense.
Mm-hmm. Indictable.
And did I just say indictable on that? And it's a court document. I'm trying. I'm. This is an American court document.
Yeah.
I'll say indictable. I say it. Listen to Small Town Murder. We say it all the time. In Australia, I'm like, I don't know what that is. Indictable must be some Australian shit. I'm a moron. Is the problem?
Well,
there.
I'm
It's
even
fucking
worse
indictable.
because I'm like, oh yeah. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's not a word.
At least you caught it. Because I'm like, indictable. What the fuck is that? Got to be an Australian.
That's what I did
thing.
in
No,
my head.
it's a word I see 8 times a week. I'm a moron.
I'm like, oh, that's a C. That means indictable.
Yeah. Jesus, I'm an idiot. So they go on to say that intent or to sell or supply it to another, of course, is a serious charge. To possess the drug alone is an offense, but with an intent to sell or supply to another, it's a very serious charge. And that arises this way because under our section, a person shall, unless the contrary is proved, to be deemed to have his possession a prohibited drug, deemed to have in his possession with intent to sell or supply to another, if he has in his possession a quantity of the prohibited drug, which is not less than the quantity specified.
Okay.
Very confusing. They said the quantity specified of meth is 2 grams. So that if you have in your possession more than 2 grams, the law deems that you have it in your possession with an intent to sell.
Okay.
They said
Anything over 2 grams, you're selling.
He had 12 pounds. So
is that sellable? How much is a gram?
Seems like you could do it. Yeah,
a little less.
So that was the whole thing, and there's a lot about jury instructions and all that. That's very deep in the Australian legal weeds that we don't need to fucking get into. They said that he was entitled to. At trial, he was entitled to put the Crown to its own proof. He offered no explanation, whether in court or out, for his connection with the events that were described in evidence. He had no excuse. He had no nothing. So that's what they're basically saying. But apparently this judge's jury instructions fucked the whole thing hard.
Sure.
Really hard, I guess, here. So he's going to have another trial, which is
unbelievable.
I mean, Jesus Christ, caught red-handed. Jimmie wants it now.
Yeah.
Good fucking Christ.
I guess I meant an orange.
Jim, bring his Australian football over there, would you? He wants it.
Through the drop bear forest?
No shit. Jesus Christ, man. This is crazy. I am looking through this court document trying to see if there's anything else we really need in here. And it does not look like it. So they do say if conduct of a particular kind stands outside the language of a penal section, the fact that a court takes the view that it is through inadvertence of the legislature that it has not been included does not authorize it to assume to remedy the omission by giving the penal provision a wider scope than its language admits. Yeah, that's the exact same look I have on my face. I have no fucking idea. They said, should a court ignore the clear words of a provision so as to give it a meaning that would or might make it easier to convict an accused? So basically, they're saying he didn't say everything about the law and the jury instruction that he should have to the jury, and the fact that he didn't means that basically he was talking to the jury and holding Jim in a lower light than the law would allow. Basically saying that what he said made Jim sound guiltier because he didn't read the letter of the law specifically enough. That's all I can really glean from this. Otherwise, I don't know what the hell you guys are doing in court.
The amount of words that they use are wild too. For
your
a guy
Supreme Court is 4 emus and a fucking koala bear. So I don't know what what's going on.
I just learned about drop bears, James. They don't exist, but it is a thing that Australians like to tell people exists, and it's like a koala with the craziest, sharpest teeth.
So it's a jackalope. It's an Australian jackalope. It's exactly what it is.
And it makes the Australians love to scare tourists by telling them that drop bears exist.
Like there's people running around Arizona looking for the jackalope. It's the same. I'm hunting jackalope. That's hilarious.
It is
Good for you,
amazing. It's
Australia.
my favorite thing I just learned. It's incredible.
They have a great sense of humor there, and I enjoy that.
And they've collectively come together to just lie to people and straight faces. Watch out for the drop bear out there. It's in that forest.
Oh, they're nasty, man. Oh, they'll take you down.
It's incredible.
It's like the 6th leading cause of death in Australia, so you should watch out.
Yeah, my cousins, they lost 2 kids too.
Oh, they lost 2.
It's so funny.
What I would suggest, wear a helmet all the time.
They come from the canopies and they
You got to wear a helmet.
They strike at the head.
Shoulder pads if you could, but definitely a helmet. You're going to want that.
It's the greatest myth on the planet, and nobody's debunking it. They're just letting them have it.
That's true. Yeah, jackalope people think exists and they go looking for it, but they're not like scared of it. They're not oh Jesus, watch out! It's from the trees above you.
They're just looking to take pictures of it. Yeah,
yeah. This is way more fun.
Or shooting stuff one. This is just. These are
that
people,
is great.
These are people buying protective equipment to not get attacked by them. It's amazing.
So 1999, 4 years after he was originally convicted, he goes up and he's convicted again.
Got him.
Jury instruction didn't mean shit when he's got giant bags of meth. And he is charged here. He's sentenced to, you, sir, may fuck off 16 years in prison again.
Same shit.
Waste of time. Whole thing was a fucking giant waste of time.
Wow.
That is amazing. His lawyer said that Krakouer had run the full gamut of legal processes during the original trial and subsequent appeal, followed by the quashing of the original conviction and his release on bail.
Yeah.
Quoting Justice Robert Anderson's words in rejecting his appeal for his drug sentencing, he said that he was at his trafficking operation was at the high end of the scale of seriousness. Yeah. If not equated to heroin and cocaine, is close enough to be regarded in the same category. Right. Meaning meth is a serious drug too.
Bad shit.
And not an ounce of remorse has been shown by the offender. That's why he still hasn't. That's wild, man. His lawyer said, obviously, the family are very upset. Jim's been on bail for 8 months, and he's now having to go back to prison.
Wow.
So, October 23rd, 2004.
Here we go.
He's released from prison.
Goddamn.
Released from prison. So, he's sentenced. He served like 9 years, basically.
Yeah. That career's over, though, right?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah.
He's so done.
He's in his 40s now.
Never playing again.
Now, 2004, he's almost 50. So he's definitely not playing. Boy. Christ, he'd break into 40 pieces if you put him out there. So they said he's been taking part in a prisoner reintegration program.
Yeah.
Basically halfway house, which lets him spend hours a day outside jail. And they said he's secured employment and will walk out of the prison on work release that day. Wow. He's on parole, too, obviously. Yeah. August 27th, 2004, he's going to talk. He's going to talk. He said it was pretty shattering not being able to see his children.
Yeah.
Including current, as he's talking, Richmond player Andrew. His son is now playing Australian football here.
Wow.
He said, when I first got into trouble, they were young and I missed all their grown-up years. He said, it's pretty shattering, but you can't cry over spilt milk now.
Sure.
He said, I've made a mistake and I've done my time and hopefully there might be a chance to get on with my life again. He's got a lot going on here. He said it's being arrested and put in jail. He said it was like your world's caving in on you. I made a big mistake and paid a big penalty, and hopefully I can put all that behind me and get on with life again. Yeah. I don't really think about things. I don't think about the effect on that. I just got desperate for money, and it was a bad choice. Yeah, you're in the midst of several addictions, and you're having a problem. He also discussed several other parts of his past, including being jailed for rape as a teenager, his involvement in a car accident where he killed a guy. And, he said that when he killed the guy by accident, he said, I've taken someone's husband and father. But he said that, he felt terrible. He said he was in that was it. He just felt awful about it. And what are you going to do? And, oh, well, basically. August 28th, 2004, a lawyer might sue over Krakouer comments.
Really?
A former minister in Western Australia, and I don't think minister means in the church.
No?
Kevin Prince, said yesterday he might sue Channel 9, Eddie Maguire, and Jimmy Krakouer for defamation in the wake of Krakauer's appearance on The Footy Show on Thursday. Oh. He claimed on the show that he was instructed by Mr. Prince, who was his defense lawyer at the time, to plead guilty to unfounded rape charges in 1974. He said basically the only reason I'm even got that rape charge is because my lawyer convinced me to plead guilty. He said Mr. Prince, who returned to practice as a criminal defense lawyer after quitting state politics, yeah, that's what he ministered, that's what he was, said yesterday he had instructed lawyers to act on the matter. It is believed Channel 9 received a letter from Mr. Prince's lawyer yesterday, and they said what further may happen depends on what Channel 9 may or may not say or do. Okay, now, he told Maguire during this interview, Krakouer did, that he was advised by his lawyer to plead guilty. Krakouer asked Maguire if he could name the lawyer, to which Maguire said, yes, name him.
Yeah.
And he said Kevin Prince was his name. So he later said that he had not understood how serious the charges were and that the conviction would haunt him for the rest of his life. I don't care how old you are. Mm-hmm. Beyond the age of 11, you know rape is real bad and it's going to stick with you.
It's not good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, rapist is not a good title to have.
It's not a good, yeah, that's a terrible name tag.
Terrible Chiron under you.
Yeah.
Rapist. That looks bad. He said Mr. Prince said he had not seen the broadcast or heard it, but Krakauer's comments had been reported to him. Okay, he said, I'm not prepared to discuss what happened a quarter century ago when I have instructed solicitors to take action on the matter.
Yeah.
So here we go. Mr. Prince's more recent clients include 19-year-old Scott Colbung, who, with 19-year-old Jeremy Krakouer, was convicted in June for murdering a man in Mount Barker last year.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. So they're going to be sentenced. Here's the problem. Andrew Krakouer, his son, is fucked, basically.
Yeah.
This is 2008. He's got some issues. He is going to be sentenced to 16 months in prison for assaulting a man outside a nightclub.
Oh?
Yeah, he was held in custody since being convicted. He must have really fucked this guy up. He was sentenced to 32 months of jail after a mandatory 1/3 reduction on a 4-year sentence, but must serve a minimum non-parole period of 16 months. Tyrone Krakouer, more Krakouers, that's his other son, was sentenced to 2 years, discounted to a maximum of 16 months. Andrew Krakouer was found guilty of assault with intent to cause bodily harm. Tyrone was found guilty on a lesser charge.
Boy.
During the trial, Mr. Martin admitted to, quote, king-hitting Krakouer in 2001 as part of a long-standing feud between female members of his own family and the Krakouer clan.
Sure.
So this has nothing to do with anything that happened in a nightclub. This is a family beef. This is Hatfields and McCoys, and we happen to run into each other somewhere. So this is very interesting here. Martin, the victim, I guess, in this situation, said when the pair met outside the Harborside nightclub in Fremantle in 2006, Krakouer challenged him to a fight, saying, let's sort it out now.
Oh.
Australians, that is such a reasonable way to say it. Let's sort it out now. It sounds like you're going to sit down and discuss what you're going to have for dinner or like your budget.
That means we're fighting.
That means we're fighting. If someone said, let's sort it out now, you'd be like, fuck you, I want to fight.
I don't want to sort anything.
Shit. Yeah, I want to fight you. So the prosecutor here told the trial that Mr. Martin was left in a coma after the attack and suffered ongoing psychological problems.
Yeah.
The judge, handing down the sentence, said the family feud and punch to Krakouer 5 years earlier was no justification for the actions of the brothers and a third man involved in the assault. They kicked the shit out of this guy.
Oh.
The judge said Andrew appeared oblivious to calls for him to stop his attack. Those who witnessed it were shocked and horrified by the ferocity of the attack. It was brutal and cowardly. It must have been clear to both of you that Justin Martin stood no chance against you and the other man. The judge said the offense was out of character and she didn't consider either man at risk of committing similar offenses again. Krakouer's lawyer told the court about him playing in the league and all that. The criminal charges meant that other AFL clubs would not draft him. and he hadn't made really any money yet and all that kind of thing. He said Andrew Krakouer's mother, Fiona, had difficulty bringing up her children because his father spent 8 years in jail. Andrew expressed his remorse for the attack and said that, quote, he would change what happened if I could.
Mm-hmm.
If I could. He was delisted by Richmond in October last year after playing 102 matches and kicking 102 goals for the club. Hey, look at that.
Yeah.
They said that, you may be from a famous family, but it's not great.
Yeah.
Also, the judge said that Andrew and Tyrone's father had been a violent husband and father as well.
Yeah.
As a result, the brothers had been exposed to, quote, domestic violence in the absence of a male role model. So even in the house, he was an asshole.
So he's seen it and didn't have a dad.
Yeah, and his dad, apparently by what the judge is saying, so that must be the facts, there was a lot of domestic strife going on here. The prosecution said that during a consensual fight between the two, Tyrone kicked Mr. Martin in the head, and that's Andrew then chased Mr. Martin into a car park and punched and kicked him repeatedly while he was on the ground. Martin was taken to a hospital and suffered a seizure, likely to have been caused by blows to the head. Complications from medical treatment for the seizure caused Mr. Martin's kidneys to fail and left him fighting for his life.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, he sat in his Andrew was in court here. Jim was there as well with his wife Fiona. That's nice. He's going to court, and for once he's not being sentenced. And you, sir, may fuck off. 16 months. It's better than 16 years like Dad. Jim said lots of friends are supportive of him. I'm supportive of him. It's a pretty tough sentence for a first offense, but that's the way the court sees it. So his father here, Mr. Martin, the guy who was injured, his father, said he had mixed feelings about the verdicts because he believed others were involved in the attack on his son. He said anybody should be able to, quote, have a good night out and not end up in an intensive care unit. That's the goal.
Yeah.
If you're going out, you go, where are we going tonight? Not the intensive care unit, hopefully.
Not ICU.
Let's head out. Yeah. That's amazing. December 29th, 2006. His son Andrew's in more trouble. He's been threatened with traditional payback by family members of a man he's charged with assaulting. So now the Martin clan is coming back on him, apparently, here. Because he had sustained head injuries. About 24 police stood guard outside the court amid fears of reprisals by more than 20 friends and family of Mr. Martin, who's also Aboriginal. One woman yelled as the brothers drove away under police escort, "What goes around comes around, 10 times worse."
What is that? Is that a threat?
That means we're going to fucking bash your head in 10 times worse than you bashed my brother's head in. Wow. Interesting. Andrew's lawyer asked for his client's next court appearance to be on January 4th because of his footballing duties. He said, my client, Andrew Krakouer, is a professional footballer who plays for Richmond, and he's due to return to Melbourne now. And not after he got fucking sentenced. Now, Martin, the victim, his grandmother said outside the court there could be traditional Aboriginal payback against the Krakouers. Okay. I don't know what that is. She said, if the court doesn't give justice, there will be payback. You can't walk out into the street or go into a pub and have a drink without a crowd wanting to bash you up. Bash you up. So,
a crowd. We're going to get our due.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, boy.
Man. So, anyway, so he's sentenced to that. That's how that goes. He was paroled in 2009 and joined Perth's Swan District's WAFL club and tried to get back into the whole thing here. September 17th, 2021. This is amazing. Jim is brought into the WAFL Hall of Fame.
What?
What are we talking about? What?
AFL? What is this?
The WAFL, Western Australian Football League Hall of Fame.
Are you sure that's what it is? Is this not the adolescent fuckers league? What is this?
Yeah, the Western adolescent fuckers legends. That's what he is.
Boy.
He's the newest inductee. Yes,
oh my God.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
He did win the Simpson Medal, the O.J. Simpson Medal for being praised despite your horrible fucking
for second worst husband of the year.
Wow, that is amazing.
Gross.
Wow. One of the coaches there currently said Jimmie was a pretty quiet sort of fella, but gee, he was a fiery customer on it. He was definitely someone you wanted on your side.
Oh, boy.
1985 was my first year of playing, and I used to just stand back in amazement at what he could do. He had that unbelievable combination of being mercurial as well as being really tough and hard. He said, I played with guys like Keith Gregg, Wayne Schimmelbusch, and Ross Glendining when they were at the ends of their career. But when I played with Jimmie, he was probably in his prime. He was a super player. Wow. Okay. And there's like no mention of, even though this is controversial based on, rape and drugs and everything else, nobody cares. They said, and you could say Lawrence Taylor's in the Hall of Fame, but I don't think this guy's as good at this as Lawrence Taylor was at that.
Yeah. And was Lawrence Taylor fucking children?
Well, there was the
sex worker there.
They found out he didn't know it was a child because he was told it was an adult. Right. She said it was an adult, but he's still, that's still. I think he didn't even have sex with her, but he paid her or something.
Yeah. Karl Malone's in the Hall of Fame, isn't he?
Karl Malone's in the Hall of Fame, and he fucking definitely fucked a very young child and had a baby that's still around.
Child with her.
Had a child. So anyway,
oh boy.
One of his teammates said, I think he'll be very quietly pleased. He'd find such a great recognition very humbling. He's an unbelievably humble person.
Unbelievably.
Which it's easy to be when you're constantly being charged with rape and drug charges. It's really easy to be humble. 2023, Phil Krakouer, his brother, initiated a group proceeding to the Supreme Court of Victoria against the Australian Football League. Class action, this is. He's representing himself, his brother Jim, and a group of members comprising Indigenous or people of color former players, umpires, and officials who participated in the league from 1975 to 2022.
Yeah.
The lawsuit alleges that the AFL owed a duty of care to participants, which it breached by failing to prevent, mitigate, or respond adequately to instances of racism, racial vilification, discrimination, abuse, violence, and victimization, thereby causing the plaintiff's physical, psychological, and economic injury, loss, and damage.
Sure, but what about rapism?
What about raping? What about that? So, this is like their version of we got hit in the head and you didn't care. This is everybody called us names and threw beer cans at us and nobody did a fucking thing. They didn't even make it against the rules for the players to do that to each other. You can't. It's hard to control the fans. I get that.
Lord.
But you can make it so, hey, if a ref hears you call that guy a fucking slur, you get a penalty.
It's 15 yards in the NFL now.
You do that now, you'll get suspended for saying shit in the NFL, and that's not part of the game. So, I mean, you could say whether it should be or not, but that's a different thing if you're going to sue them. Anyway, specific incidents cited in court documents include Krakouer being struck by a beer can, which we knew, and broader claims of unchecked racial targeting by opponents, spectators, and officials that exacerbated career-ending pressures and personal trauma for him and his brother.
Drove me into the arms of a child, James.
It pushed me right into the arms of a freshman in high school. I couldn't help myself. The plaintiffs further contend that the AFL's inaction, including inadequate reporting mechanisms and sanctions post-1975 Racial Discrimination Act, I guess that's like their Civil Rights Act, constituted misleading or deceptive conduct under Australian consumer law.
Okay.
Smart lawsuit here. And the amended statement of claim filed on March 5th, 2024 expanded the scope by naming individual AFL figures such as Essendon coach Kevin Sheedy and South Melbourne's Terry Danaher as having allegedly uttered racial slurs or failed to intervene alongside claims against clubs for vicarious liability.
Sure.
Wow. In August 2024, a judge directed the plaintiffs to refine vague pleadings for clarity. In October 2025, after the withdrawal of certain allegations against some, including some against Sheedy, the AFL sought recovery of its legal costs, arguing the amendments conceded weakness in the original claims. Interesting. It remains ongoing, that whole thing. Okay. Just like the concussion thing went on for years. March 30th, 2025. Okay.
He's arrested for child abuse again, James. I swear to fucking Christ.
This is his son again.
Oh, okay.
I think he's too old and tired to abuse anybody now. But I guess once his career was over, they're talking about here, he moved into construction and became a TV host and public speaker, the son Andrew, I guess. They said entering prison left a mark on Krakouer that changed his life forever. He said, once I got found guilty after court, it was so scary walking down and getting processed and walking into the cell. It sort of seemed so surreal. I was thinking 12 months ago, I was running around playing footy, and now I don't have a future ahead of me, and I'm not sure what the future holds. Problem is here, apparently, he's dead.
Who is, Jim? Or is
Andrew?
Really?
Yeah, dies aged 42.
So young.
We don't really know how he died. It happened in March of last year.
Wow.
But, heart attack. There we go. Suspected heart attack.
I wonder if
42.
I wonder if there was meth in there.
I was going to say, weird.
How much meth does it take to give you a heart attack? I wonder.
I don't know. Can't get enough of Jim Krakouer? Get yourself a 1986 VFL card with him on North Melbourne, looking pretty cool, about to kick a ball.
How old is he now? In his 60s, 70s?
$3.99, 56. He's almost
58.
70. He's almost 70.
68. Yeah.
It's almost 70 now. Yeah. Then we have a Jim Krakouer 1989 full Inside Football magazine poster.
Oh, yeah.
It's like it's fold-out one, which is pretty cool. $30, that is. Right. And Brother Boys, The Story of Jim and Philip Krakouer, also is a book you can buy. Only available in physical copy, and it's $35.
Okay, 35 Australian dollars.
Australian dollars here. And can't get enough Jim Krakouer. And also, I feel bad for, but not nearly as bad as, because there's only one and he spells it different. That's why I didn't put it in there. Jim Krakouer, Senior Project Manager at JCPenney in Texas.
Okay.
Spells it a little bit different.
Poor bastard's job is disappearing every day. He has no idea.
Every day. He's like, God damn it, I'd rather be a rapey football player.
Smaller market share every goddamn day.
So there you go, everybody.
Wow.
Back to Australia with Jim Krakouer. Yeah. And, wow, your priorities were all weird, Australia. Let me tell you something.
Unbelievable. Hope you fixed
Meth
this.
worse than rape.
Yeah.
Weird. I don't get it.
Yeah.
So there you go. If you enjoyed that, please let the world know. Get on whatever app you're on and give us 5 goddamn stars. Head over to shutupandgivememurder.com. Get your tickets for live shows for Small Town Murder, all sorts of live shows next year, or this year, damn it.
Sure.
February 21st in Nashville, March 6th in Durham, March 7th in Atlanta. Your Stupid Opinions, March 21st in Phoenix. Get those as well. Come hang out with us at a live show. Follow us on social media
Please
at
do.
Crime and Sports. Yeah. Get yourself Patreon.
Hey.
My God.
Yeah.
Patreon.com/CrimeInSports is where you get all the bonus material. Anybody, $5 a month or above, you get it all, everybody. You get everything we put out, hundreds of bonus episodes immediately upon subscription, new ones every other week, one Crime and Sports, one Small Town Murder. You get them all. This year, what you're going to get, or this week, what you're going to get for crime. I looked up in my thing and saw a year was written, and I read it. This week, what you're going to get is for Crime and Sports, we're going to talk about the sales, Jimmie.
Yes.
Old-timey weird ads and some strange articles and stuff like that. Small Town Murder, Dean Coral Part 2. Dean's dead. We got 27 bodies we've unearthed, and a kid standing by who says he has an explanation for all of it.
Couple friends unhandcuffed.
You know, there's a John Wayne Gacy connection too. So get in there and get that. Patreon.com/CrimeInSports. When you're doing that as well, you get everything that we put out, all ad-free, all 3 shows we do, and you get a shout-out at the end of the show, which is right now. Jimmie, hit me with the names of the best fucking people in the world who always keep this show cruising along. Hit me with them right fucking now.
This week's executive producer are Nathan Nolte. I imagine that's Nick's kid. Sharon Jones. Ash Kalb. Ben Cartledge. Benny Boy. Alinia Montroy. Happy birthday, Alinia.
Happy birthday.
Alinea? What is that? A-L-I?
Alinea?
N-E-A? Alinia?
Sounds like Alinea.
I don't know. Melissa Warburton, Gary Howard checking in Winter Haven, Florida. Martin Marufo, thank you, Martin. And Mew Hayes. She signed up for Patreon also. Thank you so much, Mew.
Thank you so much.
I guess that's your real name. Mew, it's the sound a cat makes, right?
Absolutely.
Mew. Yeah, Mew. All right, that's our executives. Thank you guys so much for everything.
Thank you guys. You guys fucking rule.
Tremendous. Other producers this week: Samantha McCormick, Peyton Meadows, Happy Hour, checking in Chandler, Arizona. Look at you, buddy.
Oh boy,
dealing with the best weather in the country at the moment. Ryan Bender, Nathan Rose, Janice Hill, Gary Howard. I said that. Cody and Delaney Leversey checking in because of the new
congrats on your baby, guys.
Netflix deal. You guys are fantastic people. Been here from the beginning.
Thank you so much.
Nice to drink beers with you every time we're in Detroit, Cody. You're a good kid. Liam Gatton, Gatone, Corey Adair, Peggy Auguste, Adam with no last name, Heather Kelly, Celia Gates, Sabix with no last name, Megan Sullivan, Handsomest Sansomist, Samsonist. Did I say Sansomist? Why would you put that word in front of it? It's not the same. Yeah. Kate Patton, David Hornig, Maya Teka, Alienaeus, Den Menace, Brandy Bradley, Nomos, Alan Berry, Laura Siam, Audra Hansen, and Megan McGee, Christy with no last name, Hunter Simpson, Rachel McCarthy, Tyler with no last name, Esme Kornmeyer, Sandy Wattenbarger, John Anderson, Olivia Carter, Jeanette Corona, that's right. Nick D, Aaron Marsh, Kathleen Campos, Patlan, Nicole Lanier, Becky with no last name, Daniel Miller, Deanna Foster, Anthony Osicki, Brian Cunningham, Brandon Miller, John White, Sherry with no last name with a CH, Victoria Lazzarella, Brandon Lou, Robert Anderson, James Cole, Bub, Sean Labor. All right, that's a long one. Amber G, Paper Cowboy, Jeff Crossan, Simone Gibson, Brian Meek, Anna Herbert, Morgan McNamara, Josh Cecil, Grace Odinger, Victoria Wood, Kelly B, Amber Cox, Eliza, Keegan, Drake Nance, Kristen with no last name, Charlotte Nicole, Becca Conley, Steve Coss, Brittany Leopold, Vinny Bailey, Kelly Graves, Melissa M, Yupe River, I don't know. Paco, Herte, Jennifer with no last name.
We got to figure this out.
Yeah, I'll sit down next week. Claudia K, Magnus, Noden, JJ Smith, Exeter with no last name. Maddie K, my turban is dirty. I know what you tried to say, and you're an asshole. Terry Blasco.
Tell him.
You know what you did. Cynthia with no last name. Carly Burley, Josh Teague, Dylan Carico, Melissa Aguirre, Paula with no last name. Joshua Rosenthal, Stephanie Culver, Alex Welch, Nick Ibatsin, Moises with no last name. Maybe Moses. I don't know. Erica Vincent.
Alu?
Is it Moises usually? It is. Alu is,
Moises.
right? Yeah.
Alu, yeah.
It's usually Moises. All right. Britt Holtz, Rickster Semino, Dominic Wilson, Pat, no, it's Dan, Prokupets, Prokopets, Denny with no last name, Georgia Mira, Mavradu, Bradley Fritz, Justin Greenhaw, all right, Julianne Trishita. What? Trishita. It's probably Trishita, right? It's not Trishita.
You hit the shit hard on that one, though. Trishita.
Shelley with no last name, Stephanie Lawson, Kelly Parsons, that's why I said Kelly, Monica at Texas. I don't know if she's just at it or in it. Julie Giles maybe. Jessica Soldberg. Hey, Jess, thank you. John Rousseau, Dale Warren, that's Joe Throckmorton. Sparrow the Hero, Lisa Mazajewski, Josh Barr, Bake Marker, Danny Cummings, Susan with no last name, Brent Guimont, Sharon Harvey, Denise Arguello, Jesse, Hesse Holsapple, that's Jesse, I'm sure. Heather Dryden Ballou, Erica Rauch, TLC 22, Angie with no last name, Sandy Saltzman, Mew Hayes, see, told you she did it twice. Kiwi with no last name, Alan Lick, Dina Aspen, Isaac Larson, Marissa Mezawetchi, Joe Watkins, Rose.
Bailed on that one. Mezawetchi, Joe Watkins.
Royce and Rock, Dougie Fresh, probably not, but good for you. Jordan Michalski maybe. Quentin Baker, Karen would know last name. Matt from Woodstock, Christine would know last name. Libby Mason and every person that's ever patroned this show donated a goddamn $1 on PayPal. Bought a fucking ticket to our live shows.
Dairy Queen gift card. Sent it to us.
Sent a Tillamook coupon. You guys are the fucking best, and I can't wait to see all of you in every place we go, specifically the very first one, Nashville. Get fucking tickets now.
Thank you so much, everybody. You are spectacular bastards. We appreciate all that you do for us. Hope that you're enjoying everything that we put out. Please watch the show on Netflix. Also, listen to our other shows. Listen to Crime and Sports. Listen to Your Stupid Opinions. You want to find us on social media, shutupandgivememurder.com has drop-down menus that'll take you any damn place you want to go that has to do with us. So do that. Keep coming back and hanging out with us live from the Crime and Sports studios. We will see you next week.
Bye.